U.S. President Barack Obama is marking the Persian New Year by calling for a nuclear deal with Iran. His message, recorded at the White House, appeals directly to the people of Iran. A deadline for a preliminary deal is fast approaching, and while diplomats report progress, hurdles remain. CCTV's Nathan King's watching it all. He's here with the latest. Nathan.
Yeah, I can tell you, Mike, that this address by President Barack Obama is really raising eyebrows. It seems like an open hand from an American president.
Hello to everyone celebrating Nowruz.
It's an address U.S. President Barack Obama gives every year, but this year it carries extra significance as he directly expresses hope for a nuclear deal by appealing to Iran's leaders and its people.
My message to you, the people of Iran, is that together we have to speak up for the future we seek. As I've said many times before, I believe that our countries should be able to resolve this issue peacefully with diplomacy. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, has issued a fatwa against the development of nuclear weapons. And President Rouhani has said that Iran would never develop a nuclear weapon.
And this is not the only overture the U.S. administration has made in the last 24 hours. The talks over Iran's nuclear program broke up on Friday with the news that Iranian President Hassan Rouhani's mother had died. Rouhani's brother is one of the nuclear negotiators. And U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry expressed his condolences in private and publicly.
I just want to say on behalf of all of the American delegation, we learned this morning of the passing of President Rouhani's mother and of Hussein Faridin, who is a very important member of the delegations. And he is the president's brother. He is returning to Iran.
As for the talks themselves, there is optimism from the U.S. and Iran.
I think a deal is possible any time. It depends on the political will, whether there is a political will to reach one.
We made a lot of progress, yes, here.
Diplomats will meet back in Switzerland Wednesday, but major sticking points remain, including the scale and scope of Iranian uranium production allowed under any deal, and what type of sanctions will be lifted first, and how they will be phased out if Iran complies. There's also how long the deal will last and the scope of inspections of Iranian facilities. There are differences between some Western nations too. News late Friday that France wants to make fewer concessions to Iran than Washington.
Many of the technical aspects of a nuclear deal have been worked out over the last 18 months, and the interim deal, which provides limited sanctions relief in return for no increase in uranium enrichment, has held up well. The UN said that on Friday. What is needed, though, for a breakthrough at these talks as they enter their final days is the political will and trust between leaders who have been suspicious of each other for decades, Mike.
Boy, you aren't kidding. And what are the chances that we may actually see something by the end of March? I mean, it's just around the corner.
Yeah, well, we've seen lots of positive comments coming out of the talks, but there is a rift late Friday. As I mentioned in the report there, France and the US differing over the lifting of sanctions. France doesn't want a lot of sanctions lifted right away. They actually want Iran to admit to past research into nuclear weapons. Iran says it's never done that. So this is a big sticking point between two allies. So they're going to have to talk over the weekend, and hopefully by Wednesday they have a common position. But there is an indication that even though this March deadline is looming, it may not be finalized by then, because all technical details actually had to be worked out by June. So it's a bit of a false deadline, and the French have been saying that over the past few days. So could we be seeing it into April? Who knows? But they've been extended once before, so you know that.
The old saying, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. There's a lot of countries involved here, and it's interesting
Absolutely.
to see this.
And you know, the perception has always been that it's the US and Iran, and we should stress this more and more. It's the permanent 5 members of the Security Council, plus Germany and Iran, and that's Russia, of course, it's China, it's Germany, it's France, it's the UK, and it's the US as well. So it's very important.
They're all looking at it from different angles.
Yeah, I mean, slightly different angles. And also, people have different national interests as well, but they also all are trying to come together so there's a united front when it comes to dealing with this issue. So it lasts.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nathan.
Thank you.